Hello, I'm Mary V. Today, let's talk about how to do vibrato while staying nice and loose. So, using my trusty wooden spoon, there's an exercise that I've been showing you recently to do with using the thumb as a pivot and the wrist as a pivot, like that. So the thumb stays in place and the hand moves. So it's, as well as being a brilliant exercise for loosening off the tightness between the thumb and the first finger when we hold the violin really tight like that. This exercise is also a great beginner exercise for vibrato. And it's great because the first finger is completely free during this exercise and the hand has got to move doing vibrato. So once we get the concept of using the thumb and the wrist as a pivot and freeing our hand, what we need to do is make the movement much, much smaller and relax and go much faster if we can, like that, while still sliding over the strings. And it's really best to have all the fingers down all together, because if you practice with just one finger, your hand is much more open like that. Whereas normally, because we have to play note after note after note, it's better to practice with the hand in the correct position, parallel to the fingerboard. So you need to get everything nice and relaxed for this and to enable your hand to move. So the next stage of this exercise is very similar. Once you can do that, then start tapping the fingers down. Now what you're doing is making sure that the fingers are able to go down while keeping your first finger nice and loose, right? So, and you can see my hand is actually moving like that, right? I'm not just putting my finger down separately like that, I'm actually tapping. And when you come to the first finger, it's also free, which is lovely, absolutely lovely. If you can speed that up too, that would be great. So the way that the fingers are going down here is ideal. What you're doing is exercising the fingers from the back knuckle to the fingertip, and that is the way that the fingers go down when they're actually playing and doing vibrato. They stay curved like this, and the movement comes from the back knuckles here. So that means that you probably are starting to feel it at the front of your forearm and in the tendons at the back if you're not used to moving your fingers so fast. So keep giving them a nice shake out and then take it gradually and slowly and get used to this. You don't need to go all the way down to the fingerboard. In fact, when you play normally, you don't have to push your fingers really hard down to the fingerboard. You can just touch and you get used to just how lightly you can actually play once you start using the bow. So there's a forwards and back movement of the fingers with the thumb as a pivot, and there's the down and up movement of the fingers with the thumb as a pivot. So what we do is combine those two nice and slowly, and we put our finger down, and this time the finger is down just enough to stop the finger sliding. Right? So don't go for speed at this point. Just go, see if you can do it with all the fingers. That's it. And then the fourth finger. If the finger is just holding onto the string just enough to depress it a little bit, then the forward hand movement creates vibrato. So it's really the hand that is doing the movement. So if you kind of lose it, you can always go back to that to remind yourself how the thumb and the wrist are acting like a pivot at the moment. And then put your finger down and do the same movement with your hand. So try that with all your fingers, and you'll see it's actually your hand that does the vibrato movement, not really the fingers. The fingers are rolled by the hand. The sliding exercise and vibrato is so close. it's all in the thumb really. So with vibrato, with the sliding exercise, so that's how to practice vibrato, is to go from the sliding exercise, and if you want to use just one finger at a time, that's absolutely fine. We'll use the third. And let it slide a little bit and get that hand movement going, and think about the thumb, how the thumb is a pivot, and then put your finger on the string to depress the string, and then do the same movement with your hand. Now that is a lovely way to develop vibrato. When you're learning vibrato or you're improving it, it's best not to think too much about the speed. It's better to think about the handoff between the fingers, and see if you can keep the movement going between 3 and 2 and then 2 and 1. So it's really to keep the hand going as much as you can. That's a much better way to think of it rather than speed it up. Speeding it up is all about making it smaller and more relaxed to allow the movement of the hand. So I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll say bye-bye for now. Bye.